What goes back? Yeah, I should make that an intro, right? I was thinking about it. Obviously, I have no video editing skills, if you will, or very limited experience. I got to get into it. These first 6 parts I'm making private because there's a couple of things I want to cut out and try to make the videos at least roughly hour 15 minutes long. Kind of target time I'm aiming for. But without further ado, let's continue on with the action here. Finally getting back into the story, making some good strides here.
Marshals! Finally! I was beginning to think you were never going to help. Hold on now. You aren't marshals. You look like ruffians. Are you here to see the sheriff? Well, I'm first. I've been waiting here on tenterhooks for an hour. Forgive me. That was unkind. I am under considerable duress. My family has been kidnapped by those no-good Dorseys, and the marshals will give me no answers about their situation. They won't even speak to me. I must know how the sheriff intends to rescue them. And when. That may be, but my family is one of the leading families of Colorado Springs. We have been longtime allies of the Patriarch and supporters of all he stands for. Surely that should be given some consideration.
Is there anyone here who you think should get less consideration than you?
I suppose not. We are all equal in the eyes of God, as they say. I am just frustrated. That is all. It doesn't seem that anything is being done. My name is Lucia Wesson, daughter of Percival Wesson and Maria Reyes of the 100 Families. But now they and my little brother have been kidnapped by those good-for-nothing Dorseys, and I fear for their lives. We are the founding families of Colorado Springs, descended from the survivalists who came together after the deluge of fire and helped the Patriarch build a stronger Colorado. I'm proud to trace my lineage back before the war on both sides of my family. Someone let the Dorseys into town, and the savages have taken my family hostage, along with a good many others, and retreated to the Garden of the Gods. I came here to demand that Sheriff Daisy immediately mount an expedition to save them, but her marshals keep putting me off. No good traitors, that's what they are. Used to be 100 families, like us, but rotten. Backstabbers, every one of them. At least that's what my father says.
So no one seems to really know what these Dorseys guys do wrong. It just seems like dogma why they fight each other.
They rebelled against the Patriarch before I was born, and were driven from the city. I was always told they were dead and gone. It seems I was misinformed. Thank you, friends. One more voice urging her to action might be sufficient. Thank you. Sheriff Daisy, I will not leave until you speak to me. Please put in a word to the sheriff for me. If she'd only lend me a marshal or two, I'd rescue my family myself.
We should build some more watchtowers around the garden. Dorseys.
Yeah, but you don't need you the Rangers. Sheriff Daisy's looking for you.
Drunk.
Must be drunker than I thought. Did someone
Too
yell
old
something
to
about
fight the Dorseys, they said. Can't tell. I'm on duty.
Please put in a word to the sheriff for me.
Miss Wesson, could you... I'm sorry. I have to talk to these folks. Sorry about that. Are you... the Rangers? We were told to expect you. Sheriff Daisy is waiting for you in the back.
Thanks, Torres.
Anytime, Marshal Point. Reports. Lots of reports. The Dorsey raid really tore up the town. Murder, looting, fires. They even attacked this station. Not that they got very far. It's been exhausting. Don't blink.
Oh, that sounds great.
It's on the back of the box. We keep the peace here in Colorado Springs. Mostly, though, we do what Sheriff Daisy says. Thanks. If you've got any feedback, be sure to fill out a form.
Post-apocalyptic world, and we're still using forms and paperwork. A Molotov cocktail. Throw to create a fiery hazard that damages and inflicts burning on anyone in the affected area. That's 720 turns after. Jesus. An interrogation. Pretty severe. They're torturing motherfuckers here. Ten of 14 damage. How many AP does this take to shoot? 6 rounds. 24. How do you compare L3? This shoots 5 rounds. 1 bullet more, same range. More pen. Same base hit chance. Well, Tommy gun definitely a better weapon. .43, 64. 44 to 66, yeah. RPG 7, Oh, I want to compare the other item. Yeah. First aid +1.
Nothing to see here. You the Rangers? Sheriff Daisy's looking for you. Nothing to see here.
Coffee.
You the Rangers? Sheriff Daisy's looking for you.
Where is she? Oh, here we go.
Sheriff wants to speak to you, Rangers. Sheriff wants to speak to you, Rangers.
The sheriff's in a statue-esque woman with graying blonde hair and steel in her smile.
Well, now you
Hey,
must be
pals, the game
Rangers.
run on PS4
I'm the
and
sheriff
controller.
around here, but you can call me Daisy. Old Saul tells me you're a bunch of badasses, and I ain't one to turn away a badass, especially at a time like this. I reckon you already heard all about the Dorsey raid, so I won't bore you with the details. Suffice it to say, we whooped 'em good. And the survivors are holed up in the Garden of the Gods with a bunch of hostages. Thing is, I lost a lot of marshals. My boys and girls are tired and beat up.
I'll answer that
You
question.
wanna make some fast friends around here? You could go into the garden and speak to those Dorseys for us. Maybe find out how the hell they got into the city in the first place.
To answer that question, at first it felt a little bit rough, because you could tell that they implemented like the little sticky aim. So like when you try to like go on highlighted areas, or when you're aiming, especially this is especially true about the shotgun and AoE type of weapons like the rocket launcher and grenades. It's slightly cumbersome. I don't think it's like breaking or frustrating, but it's gonna make you want to play a little bit slower than I guess you normally would versus the PC. So definitely not optimal, but like it's not, I wouldn't say it's like game breaking or like, yeah, I'm gonna throw my remote out the window, right? Like, so you can really tell that this game really was designed for PC. But you know, it works out, you know, like it not optimal, but not like heinous, you know. But that's just me. I just wish that there was like a kind of like a sensitivity option, which there isn't, to like control, like, so for when we're in combat, to like control how fast you move the cone or you move a circle for your AoE attacks, to get like, you know, to get to be more optimal in that positioning. Other than that, it's not so bad. The other annoying thing is like when you're walking around and then like certain areas, the camera kind of like gets stuck. So like you can't see an enemy when an enemy is activated because the camera hasn't focused or centered on you yet, or like the opposite, or where like the camera will get stuck or centered on the enemy, and then you can't really see where you're positioned at, and then you gotta wait for like whatever transition to happen and the camera kind of fixes itself. So it's I think there's a couple of things a couple of patches would fix for like the PS4 and the controller, but I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't throw the game out the window, you know, like
And by speak, you mean shoot the everlasting shit out of them and save those hostages, right, boss?
Quan, I hear you're some fancy liaison
Typical
now.
PC crossover then to
So,
consult thanks
taking my
for the
people without
input.
even asking? How dare you? Anyway, yes, you rascal. That's exactly what I mean. But question him first, you hear?
yeah, I agree with you. It is a typical PC import, right? Like, what I will say, because like I looked into other isometric role-playing games. I like, for example, right? Like XCOM 2. Like I played both XCOM Enemy Within and XCOM 2 War of the Chosen. That game doesn't really have I don't really have any real complaints about the controls in that game. And even more recently was Mutant Year Zero, right? Like that game came out last year, and it has like half the budget of this game, and the controls in that game is stellar, you know. So I think the control issues in this game is more about the style that they chose.
I'm a big fan of Divinity Original Sin, which
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, exactly. So like I don't know why they didn't choose to implement what like XCOM does, or like what Mutant Year Zero does in terms of like the control and setting up your troops and how the camera works in that game, because I think it would have been 100 times more optimal. Like why are you still doing what Wasteland 2 director's cut did? Like, right? Like that doesn't make sense. I don't know, man.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
I blame it more on whatever developer dropped the ball on, you know, PC port control versus the fact that, you know, right? Because right, it's not the console's fault, right? It's the guy who's designing, like, hey, this is how it should work on the console. Like, you know, that is that person's fault. Like, I don't know if you ever played Mutant Year Zero, but you're not. Hey, that thing is super smooth, and it's, you know, there's not as much buttons and it's not as in depth as this game, but it's an isometric RPG, and that game has no control issues.
That girl, you think I ain't heard her yapping? But I got a couple of 50 other people yapping at me too. Tell you what though, her people are 100 family folks from the fancy side of town, so they got some pull. You can do me a big favor and kill 2 birds with 1 stone if you take little Miss Wesson with you when you go to save them. In fact, I'm gonna insist on it. I need that girl out of my hair. I'll let Lipinski know you're bringing her along. He won't let you into the garden without her. Don't worry. She knows which end of the gun the bullets come out of. Go in there and kick some ass, Rangers.
Yeah, but there's certainly...
The on the far side of the market square. Don't forget to take Miss Wesson with you.
Yeah, my final comment about the whole typical PC import, like, there's definitely other games that isometric RPGs that that got imported into the PS4, and it's absolutely horrendous, like freaking terrible. Like, I looked up some reviews on some other games, and there's just truly nothing positive being said. So I wouldn't compare that to that.
Daisy like you promised, strangers. Thank you. I heard her tell you to take me with you to the Garden of the Gods. So, when do we leave?
Well, we leave right now. What is the Garden of the Gods?
It's a project of the Ward family. A showcase for their know-how. They grow food there using the latest technologies. Colorado Springs leads the world in science. But there are plenty of places to hide in the garden. The Dorseys could be laying for us anywhere. We shall have to be cautious. Certainly. My father taught me to shoot almost before I could walk, and I'm the best shot in the city.
Oh, it's true. She's a prodigy, all right. Also a pain in the ass.
I may wager it's on offer, kinda on the fence.
But I have hunted. There's no need to worry that I will be shy about pulling the trigger. I promise, strangers, if it is to save my family, I will not hesitate.
But I know what you mean.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. I agree with that, actually. Probably like in the next 90 days, 60 days, it probably would be like 10%, 20% off. So, without a shadow of a doubt, and then it'd be patched up, so better experience for you. So, without a doubt, I would recommend to do that. Me, I just kind of been like, I've been messing up because my backlog is pretty good, so I really didn't have a reason to buy a new game. It's just kind of like, I guess, all this COVID stuff scrambling my brain. So I was like, yeah, let me buy a new game, and I really should have not had, but here I am.
If you haven't tried Divinity Original Sins 2, worth a buy.
I actually bought it. I just haven't played it. Sad for me. I bought it, but I haven't played it. And I just like avoid. Just in general, I always avoid like the internet because I just don't like seeing other people's strategies and spoilers and stuff. So I know it's pretty kick-ass. I really enjoyed the first one. But yeah, man. Now that I'm thinking about it, like I'll probably find some time and like maybe in the upcoming weekends. I don't want to press her too hard, but let's see what she reacts to this.
I believe you're trying to trick me, strangers. There is no right gun for hunting bison. The safest way to hunt bison is to stampede them off of a cliff, and only if you have a very fast vehicle. At last.
The gunslinger. Alright, got a 6-man party. Outstanding. I wanted to talk to Daisy more though.
The garden's on the far side of the market square.
Dang.
Don't forget to take Miss Wesson with you.
I probably missed out on some information. I should have. Dang it. What it says on the logbook. So I got a doctor. I don't have a quartermaster. I need a mechanic and a jailer. Alright, so let's see what old Miss Wesson is about. She got a revolver. Okay, that makes sense. Lucia's revolver. Looks pretty badass. Do I have any extra armor here for her? I'm gonna put a scope on a revolver. I might give her this other girl's pistol. Yeah, just unequip this. Yeah, put this on, girl. I'm trying to modify. What's going on here? Let's give it some range. I want to save that. Yeah, we'll leave it there. What else? Armor. That's it. That's all I got for her. Let's give her a grenade. Yeah, I gotta buy some armor. She's really aware. That's good. What level is she? Level 5. All right. She ain't got no strength. That's not good. Let's give her some strength. Small arms, weapon modding, barter, and survival. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna just leave her points be. She calls a trick shot. That makes sense. Alright. And we're off.
Marshal stop Dorsey's at Palace Gates. Patriarch alive and safe. Authorized personnel only. Good day.
I should be able to get through now, right? I don't want to get shot down. But see, this is what I mean, right? Like, I gotta go like this with the camera to see what's ahead of me. And now it moves. It's a little bit uncomfortable. Lockpicking level 3. Let's go.
No one's allowed in there.
Oh shit.
Which word didn't you understand? Please, step away.
Alright, I don't want to get killed. Let's look at the map before I get blown up. So which way is machine shop? Which way do I go to? Garden of Gods is this way. Alright, you see, I almost got freaking obliterated by these NPCs. So I gotta go north.
Garden of the Gods is just north of Market Square. Marshal Lupinski should be out front.
One of these guys are selling armor. I think he was selling the med stuff.
Is this game couch co-op or just two-player network?
I think it's only online. I don't think it's couch co-op. Don't quote me on that though. I think it's only online though.
Hey, chums! Welcome to Taiwan Jones's Emporium. My store has everything you're looking for. Dive on in. Sardinely.
Yeah, she's the one with the armor. Gotcha. Alright, so. Huh, that's cool. A laser pistol. Alright, force strength required. That little girl doesn't have force strength. How much is this? 58 and 77? Yep, we can do that. Oh boy, what kind of glitch is this? I'm pressing back and it's not letting me. Oh boy. Think it froze on me. What's going on?
Dude getting late dropped you a follow letters.
Oh, this isn't good. I just ran into a glitch. I can't, yeah, take care, old school. Have a good night, bro. Thanks for tuning in. This kind of sucks. I'm actually not sure what to do here. I'm stuck. It froze here on the menu. Might be forced to cut. 'Cause I might have to turn off the game here, sadly enough to say, and turn it back on because I can't leave the menu. So I'll cut from here and then I'll get back on once the game reloads.
Got a recent save.
I hope it I hope it auto saved after she joined, so probably not too much backtracking to do. So we'll see. Have a good night, bro, man.